I think that the urgency is there, or should be, for LSU and Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly knows it. That's why I hit the portal so hard. They had to fill some holes because it's got to happen for them. Listen, Notre Dame can't be going and playing for the national championship while LSU is not playing in the CFP. That's not why LSU paid Brian Kelly. That's as plainly as I can put it. And everybody knows it. 9-4 is not going to cut it for them. They lost three straight in the second half. A&M, Bama, and Florida. That can't happen again. They get Harold Perkins back after he tore his ACL in the first month of the year. I think that they can get him back to kind of that freshman mold. Number 1 ranked portal class. This should be a really good team. This should be a very good team. A team that goes to the CFP.
Say it louder, Joel Klatt. I think every LSU fan is feeling that way about Brian Kelly right now. It is playoff or bust in Baton Rouge. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about why Joel Klatt challenges Brian Kelly to make the college football playoff in 2025. Brian Kelly is entering his 4th season as LSU's head coach. Remember, LSU has never made the college football playoff once in the Brian Kelly era. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Does Brian Kelly have to make the college football playoff in 2025 to avoid criticism? I believe so. Brian Kelly has to realize that this is his most talented team yet at LSU and that he has to take advantage of his opportunities, particularly in a wide open SEC. The SEC has never been weaker than what it is right now, and Brian Kelly has to realize that this is going to be his 4th season being LSU's head coach, which means there's a lot of pressure to win. Joel Klatt is absolutely correct in his assessment about Brian Kelly. There has to be a sense of accountability going on at Baton Rouge. Understand that, hey, this is the year that we have to make the college football playoff, or else this has been a failure in the Brian Kelly era. Brian Kelly is getting paid like he is one of the best coaches in college football, yet he is producing like a coach that is satisfied with getting top 15 to top 25 results. LSU is probably battling for 3rd place in the SEC. The good news is, though, with the expansion of the college football playoff, 3rd place in the SEC is more than enough to get into the college football playoff. I believe LSU will get into the college football playoff this year, but there has to be a sense of urgency that we have to start the season off on the right note. If you win week 1 against Clemson, then I'm going to feel really good about your chances heading into the season. Obviously, Brian Kelly has never won on opening weekend at LSU. I don't know what it is, but whatever they're doing in training camp, they must be overtraining the crap out of themselves because they keep losing on opening day, and then as soon as opening day is over, they look like a pretty good football team. Obviously, they have a pretty tough matchup in week 1 against Clemson. I believe Clemson is the best team in the ACC by 1,000 miles. It's not even really close. Clemson, for the current moment, they seem like they're on pace to beat LSU in the season opener. I'm taking Clemson to win that one, at least for the current moment. My opinion can change once the season comes around, but if you ask me right now, I'm taking Clemson to beat LSU. But that doesn't mean LSU can just relax and say, okay, let's be cool with losing week 1. They got to treat week 1 like this is the Super Bowl. LSU has not done that whatsoever. They've used week 1 to, okay, let me recover from the grueling training camp and let me just go through the motions. They can't go out there and do that again. That's why they've lost the last 3 season openers with Brian Kelly as their head coach. They can't afford to do that. The goal for LSU this year should be to make the college football playoff. There really shouldn't be no other goal that is acceptable for LSU at the moment. They have a pretty good quarterback. They got the running game. They got the receiving game. They're going to put up points on offense. The question for LSU is, can they stop anybody on defense? I'm not really sure, though. I believe they can to an extent, though. They added a bunch of transfers. Their defense should be significantly better than what it was last year. The offense should be able to score points. That means LSU should come out with more wins than losses most of the time. And quite frankly, most of these games shouldn't even be close. But let's see what happens on game day. That's why they always say play the games. I also want to show you guys this clip of Marcus Spears talking about Brian Kelly needing to make the college football playoff this year. He is putting pressure on Brian Kelly to produce high-level results. Obviously, he feels like Brian Kelly has not done a good enough job at LSU. Roll the film.
LSU is in that window now, and Paul and Heather knows this as well as anybody, where if you don't win big, if you're Brian Kelly, this fan base is done. And I'm just telling you, the wins and the success and all of the things, going to the SEC championship, your first year was great, but people still didn't feel like that was like a big time accomplishment based on how it happened. This year, you see all of the transfers, you see the recruiting class, Garrett Nussmeir in the preseason Heisman conversation. All of those things in the past at LSU has aligned with them having big seasons. It doesn't guarantee a championship, but it should guarantee you being a playoff contender. And if they are not, if they on the outside looking in the playoffs, this fan base is going to turn quickly on Brian Kelly.
He's right. He's absolutely correct in what he is saying about Brian Kelly. I have a lot of friends who are LSU fans, and they're getting sick and fed up of Brian Kelly. Obviously, Brian Kelly has not made himself a lot of friends in this fan base. Remember the time where Brian Kelly got hired to LSU and he started faking a Southern accent? Yeah, that exactly hasn't gone too well with LSU fans, and obviously, LSU is striving for greatness. This is a football program that won a national championship not that long ago. Obviously, they haven't really been that team since they won the national championship, but those are the expectations in Baton Rouge, for better or worse. I'm not saying Brian Kelly has to go out there and win a national championship, but you better get into the college football playoff this year, because if you don't get into the college football playoff, then everybody in Baton Rouge is going to want you fired, for better or worse, and they're going to want a new coach in place. I believe LSU right now is constructed to be the third best team in the SEC, which I believe will end up happening. I believe Georgia and Texas are better than LSU, but everybody else in the SEC should not be better than LSU. LSU should be a top 8 team in the college football playoff. Forget about just making it. They should be making it rather comfortably. They should end the season with a 10-2 record if they play up to their capabilities. Obviously, I would like to see LSU win a college football playoff game. They have the talent to pull it off. Garrett Nussmeier is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He's extremely underrated. I like his processing. He is a very smart quarterback. He obviously plays with high football IQ, and I'm going to need to see Garrett Nussmeier take the next step into becoming the best quarterback in college football, because he has the potential to be exactly that. I don't believe Brian Kelly is a great coach, but I do believe that LSU's talent is just too good to the point where Brian Kelly can't mess it up. They're going to go 10-2. They're going to get into the college football playoff. I'm even going to go as far as to say they can win a college football playoff game depending on who they play in the first round of the college football playoff. Ultimately, though, Brian Kelly has to realize that he needs to produce results at LSU, because if he doesn't, the Notre Dame fan base is going to roast him even harder. Notre Dame has already advanced to the national championship game without Brian Kelly, so obviously Brian Kelly needs to realize that, hey, I need to go ahead and step up my game, because if I don't step up my game, then I'm going to be a joke at multiple places. Notre Dame already looks at Brian Kelly as a joke, and LSU is on the verge of looking at Brian Kelly as a joke. I'm not saying Brian Kelly is a bad coach. He's actually a pretty good coach, but Brian Kelly needs to realize, hey, I need to be more adjustable to my approach in practice. Maybe don't be so hard on the players that they won't be tired by game day. If Brian Kelly keeps his players locked in, then I see no reason for LSU to not succeed in 2025. Joel Klatt is absolutely right in the message that he is sending for Brian Kelly. So that is why Brian Kelly has to make the college football playoff in 2025 to avoid criticism, as LSU's roster is absolutely stacked on paper in a wide open SEC. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm going to shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.